Little teeny jacket, and it has a big fat dart in the middle, but I might change it to look more like the torso once we get going here. All right, like that. This right here, and I'm going to move it a little. Should use my thumbtack, sorry. Okay, bust dart here. Move it a little bit. So then we'll go like that, and like that. All right. So now we have a little side dart after we moved it and all that. Bless you. And y'all know I'm not doing this to measurement and spec. It's just so you guys can get the idea of what goes what, right? Okay. Now this, let's pretend that we have a little torso down here. This is so bad. I don't have a little miniature half scale torso. I probably do in the book, and now I know that I need to cut it out in tagboard as well. And then my back here. All right. You guys have, let's go up high. All right, here, boom, boom, boom. I don't care about the notches for now. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right, now, then we've got little torso here. Okay, does that make sense? Probably my hip should be more like a hip. I can't, where are you at? Yeah, you're there, okay. Now, so what we're gonna do is you have made your torso, and then over here you're probably gonna have like a little lapel that looks sort of like that, okay? Pretend. All right. First off, you need to raise the armholes and blend to 0 here, probably about 1/4 of an inch. Raise your armholes, 1/4 of an inch. So if you do that, where else do you have to raise the armhole?
In the dart?
No.
The sleeve lining.
Yeah, shoulder, sleeve I mean. Okay? That seam sews to this underarm seam. So if you fix this seam, you have to fix the other. All right? So you're gonna add 1/4 of an inch up here. The book also tells you to shave a little bit off the cap, so do the same, do that, all right? Actually, you might even shave a little bit off the shoulder seam up here. All right, once you move that dart, but I'm not gonna be worried about too much as long as you do this. They also have you go out 1/2 inch, but I don't have you do that, just raise it up, okay? All right, so now what you're gonna do, whatever, I would make my back neck facing first, and wherever this dart leg is, measure how far, and that's gonna be where the back neck facing is gonna be. So right there is your back neck facing. Now we've got a dart here, so all you need to do for the lining, just move this dart and make it go like this, and you can do it by drawing it. So just connect this dart leg and connect it with that seam line there. Does that make sense? So now this dart moved in that seam. All right, okay. Over here, you might want to make sure this is center back. So if there's a seam in it, fine. If it's on the fold, fine. So let's pretend we've got a seam back here because all of yours is going to have a seam. You're not going to have a seam though on your facing. It's going to be on the fold. All right? That's in self and fuse. Right? Okay. Over here, you're going to want to add 1 inch at the neck, go down and blend it into that seam allowance, just like that, so that you have ease in the back neck when you move. Back shoulders here, all right? So your lining piece is gonna look like this, down at the bottom, and this is separate. So whenever you do this, what I would do is I would get my black pen or pencil, trace my back neck facing, okay, and put it on the fold. Boom, it. This one here, make sure you add seam allowance. So boom, 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 add seam allowance to the bottom part or the top part of that facing. This is no longer, okay, seam allowance. And then down here, you want to make sure you add seam allowance to that as well. right? Y'all following me, right? Okay. That's it. Well, hems. The hem of your lining piece. Have you got them?
Yeah.
Take a picture? Okay. The hem of your lining piece, the hem of your jacket, guys, is probably folded up like 1.5 inches or something like that, right? You've just folded up the hem and da-da-da-da-da, right? Your lining piece that you just traced, well, here, let's do it this way. This is my jacket. My hem is hemmed up. The lining piece has to be cut off the same length as the finished edge of the self. Y'all got that? So whatever this fold amount is, cut it off the lining. The lining's gonna be the same as that, all right? So I'm gonna act like I cut this off. So that when this is folded up, when you sew this to this, like a lot of times they'll go up in and do a drundle style, they'll sew this right here at 1/2 inch, and then when the lining flips up, you've got a little bit of bubble there, but you're supposed to for when you get the bookshelf off the top of the, yeah, right? Okay? Or grab your soup can off the top ledge of your cabinets. All right. So then that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna cut off the bottom at the hem. Okay? Front, I would make sure that wherever that dart is, measure the shoulder seam, and that first dart leg is hitting right here. Okay? Well, that's my facing. Okay? So you guys will probably have 2 darts here, right? Rather than one great big one in your torso. So what I would do is I would make a nice pretty curved line to the tip of the first dart, okay, and then go boom, straight down to the hem down here at the bottom. Are y'all following me? All right. So then the facing is going to be out of self-infusing, all right? What I would do is I would cut it. Just cut this up to where that that tip of the end of the dart is, and cut it on this side of the dart, and then cut it out here, all right? Then that little dart that's hanging off, just cut it off of your lining. So now you have these two. Go give me your scissors so you guys can understand what I mean. This dart's gonna stay in there, possibly, or we might be able to take that out of the seam too. So we're gonna cut it here, go out, and then cut the top part up. Ta-da, there's my facing. This little dart here, we're gonna cut out of the lining, and now that dart has just become in that seam. Okay, follow me? All right, we've got some